Hey boys. Hey boys, I'm late. I know. I'm late. I was finishing dinner and I didn't realize it was already so late. So I'm 10 minutes late. Sorry for that. But the good news is I'm here now. I'm here now. How are you guys? Let me start the chat and see who's with us. Who is with us? Okay. 1 second. 1 second, I lost way. Hey, so the mission of today is connected to spells. Oh, by the way, we should review the mission of yesterday because I think we did very good progress on it yesterday night. Then I didn't manage to actually update the mission, but yesterday we definitely managed to have Spell Manager compiled. We created a simple UI to list all the spells. Yes, we have that. And now we are here. We want to cast a spell which does damage to an NPC. Let's say that this one is 50% done, in the sense that we managed to cast a spell already. So maybe we should have added another mission in between. Let me add a mission in between, just to be fair with what we did yesterday, okay? Because I don't want to be too hard on us. Because actually we did some work, and I think we can get the recognition of it. So mission, a small mission, no, a bigger mission. What do we do? 24? No, what do we do? 26? 36? Is this 36? Looks like. Okay, so mission was to cast a spell. Cast a spell server side. Okay, cast a spell server side. This we did. This we did. Another thing that we did, actually we did a lot of stuff. Maybe I can remove the two missions at the bottom, because yesterday another thing that we did, yeah, let me move this down. Who cares about the pictures? Or let me do this. Wait, let's move this picture. I already messed it up, but it's okay. So another thing that we did yesterday was to let me put down here. So another mission that we did yesterday was to enable the play of an animation, right? Play casting animation on both clients, on all clients. Now this one was not completely finished, but is basically done, and this one kind of works now. So this one is done. So we did this. Let me get the right sides. I mean, like this. We did this. So all these formations are done, which is very good. Now we want to be able to cast a spell. No, there's another mission that we need to do first. And the other mission we need to do first is to enable the casting time to be considered, because at the moment our casting time is not considered properly. So and this one we still need to do. Enable casting time, meaning there is a time where you cast and then is a time where the spell goes off, you know. So enable casting duration with an event. Okay, I don't know if it makes sense to you, but anyways, I start casting, my spell takes 3 seconds to cast, and so I see the casting animation for 3 seconds, and then the spell is finally gets casted, you know, and you see the visual effect. So this one is where we are, right? This one is where we are in this mission. Enable casting duration with an event. I don't think we are too far from that, because an event already exists in the code. An event is already there, but we need we need to be sure that we properly trigger it. At the moment I think we are not triggering it, right? So let's try to do this. enable casting duration. So where we are in terms of code? Well, in terms of code, we are here. I was looking at this a bit now, and let me just recap because I don't remember. But we were yes. So we are setting up an event which is called UPS spellcasting event, and we should understand, we should see if this properly triggers, right? So because we are generating the event already, it's just a matter of ensuring that is properly executed. So here we should be inside the PS spell cast spell. Yes. So I think I would like to put a breakpoint somewhere here, and I mean, how do we debug this? Because this thing, I think I need to debug when this triggers, not when we queue it, because I think the queuing this one would not be a problem. The problem will be triggering it. So the trigger for this guy should be, I don't know if he's in spell manager or if he's, I think he should be in spell manager. No, I don't remember where is that. He's in PS spell. Let me check. Yeah, is he. There should be a trigger. Okay. So this is the function that will get called when the casting duration finishes and we are casting the final spell, casting the spell, right? So what we need to do, we need to have, yes, I would place 2 breakpoints. Meanwhile, let me launch it because it will take a bit to compile. So we place 2 breakpoints, one when we add the spell to the queue, and another one when the spell actually triggers. And this thing should actually make damage. Now, at the moment, I don't know what this will do, but I would be already happy to see that this is properly triggering. Also, what this thing does, it restores the mode, restores the mode to peace, right? Which is basically the standard mode where the character is idle, compared to the other mode, which is spell casting. So we have an animation for spell casting and we have an animation for idle. And so yeah, so maybe I can draw a quick schema so that you understand what we are doing, okay? Because maybe it's confusing for you, maybe, I don't know, it's confusing for me, so maybe it's confusing for you as well. So let me open a new paint. Basically we have, you know, the usual separation between client and server, right? So let's say server is here, yeah, meanwhile we compile. So server is here and client is here, right? So what happens is that our player is clicking on the UI. So this is the player action. So player clicks on cast spell from the spell book, right? So this is what it's doing. When he does this, we actually send a message to the server asking if this is a proper thing to do. I mean, if the player can actually do it. So there is a lot of validate, no? There is a lot of validation, like can he do it, does he have the right glyphs, is in the right range, is the target existing, is the target valid, is the target something that you can kill, and blah 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 blah. So there is a lot of validation going on. Then if the validation is okay, then it says okay, start casting. Okay, so the server sends back to the client the okay, start casting, and at the same time is also scheduling. So it's scheduling a timer, right? Scheduling a timer, and the timer will be the one that triggers the spell. Now on the client side, what we do, the player player mode spellcasting, right? So it goes into player mode spellcasting and plays cast animation. So you start to see the character that is waving his hands and is like starting to cast the spell. Now the the client doesn't do anything else. He's just waiting for the timer to trigger. So the timer triggers, and if the spell has not been interrupted, because by the way there is a case here in the middle in which the spell can be interrupted. So if spell not interrupted by whatever, no, by game logic, like I don't know, you get hit, you die, you whatever, the timer finally triggers and casts the spell server side, but also sends a message to the client saying yes, you can finally now cast the spell. And so on this side the player is not a player, let's say we launch an effect, so launch GFX effect of the spell, right? So you will see the graphics, you will see the fire from the hands and going to the other to the target, to the other character, and doing the thing. Okay, so as you see, the client is completely slave, no, of the server. So he cannot decide anything. The only thing that he decides is to cast a spell, but then everything else happens server side. And these messages here in between are the messages that we built in our player controller. Right? Right now, unfortunately, is not exactly like this. Oh, by the way, yes, here at the bottom there is also cast the spell, executes the spell script, because there is a spell script which is associated with the script and may do damage, may do whatever, may teleport you, may whatever the spell is doing, right? And so the script may actually trigger additional events, right? The script may trigger additional events, like I don't know, like if it's a teleport spell, no. So execute what server is telling us to do for this spell. So, for example, if it's a teleport spell, you will tell it. We will teleport the client. So all of this sequence is something that we have now. Which pieces we have working? We have this one. We have this one. We have the validation. Okay. We have the start casting, scheduling a timer, which we just enabled, right? Which we just enabled. So is the server up? Yes, the server is up. So the problem is that we don't have yet well, we have this piece we have, but I think in our blueprint this block is all together. This block is one action, right, at the moment, and we don't want this to be one action. We want this to be two separate actions. So I think that this is what we want to do now. We want to ensure, let me go back and check, if I launch my editor, because because the editor, I mean, what we had in the editor was a bit simpler, was just the fact that we were starting to wave our hands, you know, starting to cast the spell, and then after 3 seconds or whatever we were releasing the spell. But it was like one action, and it's not good because we want to follow exactly this schema. So this should not be one action, but it should be action 1 and action 2 separate, and one should be triggered only when the timer finishes, right? There is also another thing which will happen, which is here, which is set mode to peace. right? Set mode to piece, which is basically the idle, and this one also needs to here basically we restore the idle animation. Restore the idle animation for the player. Yeah, place cast animation. So here I don't know if it's clear enough, but here we schedule a timer, but we also here we also set mode spell casting, right? We set the mode spell casting, and this is why the player starts to wave his hands, right? So now we have all the pieces, but it's not exactly designed yet this way, no? Or anyway, it's designed somehow this way, but not perfectly. So we have to fix that. So we have to ensure that we follow exactly what I have on the slide on the picture. So if I go into my player character, if this opens up, if this opens up, so we have this, which is the set mode, and the set mode is actually going through everything that we need, and then if the mode is spell casting, then we do this one, which is start casting, but it's not exactly what we want at the moment, because again we don't want a single event, we want 2 events. So actually start casting will be something that will happen later on, but I want to split this into 2 events, because all this get data row, blah blah blah, get transform, spawn emitter, all this stuff, it's okay, but let me check, where is this coming from? So yes, I want to cast get anim instance, casting, set casting to true. Okay, there it is. There it is. That is exactly the piece that we need. So this piece is the piece that is actually setting our player to do the casting animation, right? Which I think is perfect. The only problem, start casting. Okay, let's take this one for a second. Okay, let's take this one and go back to our previous view, which is here. So yeah, exactly. So here what we need to do, we need to set the mode to spell casting. So if it's a spell casting, we get the target, which we assume that is our character blueprint, yes, and we start casting, right? So this will go on like forever if we don't stop it, right? It will go on forever. So this guy will cast for the rest of his life. But then another message will arrive, which is the one that will play the spell, and then there will be another message, will be peace, right? And peace will actually do what we were doing, what stop casting is doing. So stop casting, where is stop casting? Stop casting is here. Should be done only if casting was successful. Spawn spell projectile. You see, so this is the actual casting. Yes. Okay, so we need this, which is basically the same as the other one, but it's just with casting equal to false. So we do this, and we do this. and so we set casting to false. Obviously for now it's a bit simplified, okay, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. So this one makes the player wave his hands and it shows that he's casting a spell, and this one stops that. Right? So at the moment on the server side, I'm pretty sure we are triggering the spell casting because it's actually the one that I tested and was getting triggered. Now we have to see if we have the mode piece that is getting triggered anywhere, because on that one I'm not fully sure. Yes, is here set mode piece. Now this one is the one that sends the event, right? Yeah. So it's okay because there is a decoder we changed yesterday and it's working fine. So we should receive the set mode piece after certain amount of seconds have passed and the spell is getting cast. Okay. Okay, so then we need another one though. We need, between those two, we need to actually cast the spell, which at the moment we are not doing. Right? Which at the moment we are not doing. So we need a function which is not set mode, but which is cast a spell, and considering this as to be broadcasted to all the other clients exactly like our animation is, because we have to visually see the result, means that he has to go to all the other clients because everyone needs to see that the spell is getting cast, and so it means that we need the same set of functions. So let me go back and check what we had. We had a broadcast message, and in this case we need a broadcast spell or broadcast cast spell, something like that. Right, so we need broadcast a spell to all the client, spell being cast. And by the way, will be the same for everything, for attacks as well, right? Attacks will have a similar function like this. So this one will be called broadcast cast spell. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's broadcast cast, but broadcast cast spell. And the point is, what do we need? We need the character, we need the target. The player mode is not needed anymore, and the value is not needed anymore. So we just need these two things. But we need also the spell itself, right? We need the spell itself, because how do we know which spell is it? Hello, Maui. How do we know which spell is it? So I think we search the spell by name, which is maybe not great, but it is what we do. So let's keep it as it is for now. So we put the spell name in, right? Now, the same way we do the broadcast mode, the same way we do the broadcast cast spell. It should be the same, and if I remember right, this thing, I don't know if we should make this generic, more generic, so we don't have to copy paste the whole code all the time, but I don't know. Because actually this one should exactly do this, not identical, but should search for the player connected, yes. Should check all the player controller. Okay, decide the range at which we replicate the spell, animate the spell effect. Okay. For now the distance is 10, so it's 100 meters. Broadcast the message through the pawn. So exactly. So we need here a cast spell, or I think there was I think there was something called send effect. Maybe we can make it more generic, you know, because it doesn't mean that it's a spell. I mean, it can be any effect. Can be any effect that has a target, and yeah, maybe. Because the previous version of this, no, I mean the old code, what it was doing, I think there was something like there was something. I don't remember if it's inside spell or is this somewhere else, but I remember there was a message called effect, like graphical effect, like GFX effect, something like that. What is that? It's not here. It's not here, but I'm pretty sure it was here. Let me just search effect without any in the current document. Casting effect. There it is. This one. This one. PS effect message, right? PS effect message. So he has a bunch of parameters. I don't know if we need these parameters, but where we are inside cast spell. We're inside cast spell. Yes. Okay. So right. So we need to create a message. Maybe we can call it effect message. Why not? I mean, let's call it as it was, right? So let's say broadcast effect message. So I want to keep the names kind of the same, so that if you look back at the old code, we still can recognize, you know, a bit the thingy. So this will be spell name. Well, for now we use it for spells. I think it should be effect name and effect name, and here then we will call send. No, is a send or receive? Is usually receive, right? When we receive effect message, and you will have effect name as a target, as a parameter. Now, yes, now this one, receive effect message, we have to add it also then to our PS character in the same way we did for the set mod message. Yes, so there will be something very similar to this one, with the difference that will be like this, and the signature will be like this, and boom. Now this one is an implementable event, okay? So it's not something, maybe I can stop the server by the way, because I'm doing so many changes. This is an implementable event, so it means that if I hot reload, we will receive a new message, which should be here, right? And this should be server send as an effect to play, right? What is this? So, okay, still compiling. But basically now we have split these two actions that I told you before, right? So we have one action, which is this one, the spell casting, which is basically the set mode, and then we have the other one, which is this one, which is launching the effect, the graphical effect of the spell, right? And pretty much all the spell will be the same, because every spell we'll have a casting time and then it gets triggered. A casting time and get triggered. I don't think we will have any spell that are zero, that are like instant, you know? There is nothing like instant. There is a problem. Why there is this problem? Receive effect message. Overloaded member function not found in APS character. Oh, well. Is here. Receive effect message. Do I have the right parameters? APS character, actor and string. Ah, yes, the usual stuff. Yeah, it doesn't find it because I need to, but send mode works though. Interesting. I found out that sometimes I need to do this. I don't know why. I need to pass the maybe it's only this. Maybe it just needs this as a it doesn't need the const. Maybe it only needs all addresses or pointers. Because I think it's translating effect name. You see the others, but for all the ones that are not enumerations and not integers but are real classes, I think he needs the address of the variable. Which is very interesting. I don't think we need this here then, but let's see. How are you this evening, boys? Doing good? Doing good or not? Okay. So I think today I've saw no check-ins, right? If I while it's compiling, let's go check if there have been any other check-ins. Ah crap, it installed all the maps, obviously. Yes, I didn't want this. I wanted to keep the maps deleted, but okay, I will delete them again. Okay, so we heard the blip, and so means that something compiled properly. Now we have an issue here. Get mesh, use an invalid target. Target self, character object reference. Yes, why you don't, I mean, do I have to do this? I mean, if you want, I can do this. Don't like it? You like it. Okay. Well, I don't know, you had self written there already. Can I just do a get mesh instead of self target mesh? Skeleton component. So if I do get mesh or mesh, skeletal mesh, do I need to do really this target and thing? Okay, get character, get mesh. Yeah, exactly. Why I just don't do this? Much better. One block less. Okay. Okay. So, and maybe we will change this in the future, okay? We will have one function that has all our animation. We just name the animation and it will play it. But for now, we only have the casting, and so we keep it like this. But we will expand it and improve it soon. Trademark. Okay, so we do this thing, so we receive the effect message. And now, yes, now I need basically here to create our new why? It compiled, right? There must be a receive effect message. Why is not here? Why? We have it on PS character, right? We have it on PS character, but yeah, it's the same as this one. Set mode message. Set mode message. Yes, this one yes, but PS generic. PS generic. No, the other one is not. It doesn't see it for some reason. Okay, I guess in this case there is another way than compiling clean that part, because for some reason it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So let me just recompile it, and then we launch it and see if it sees it. Hello boys, I see a lot of people joined. Welcome to the stream. I've been a bit late today, about 10 minutes, so we just started, but if you have any questions on what I'm doing, just ask. Let's keep this interactive. I like interacting with you and speaking about whatever you want, mainly if it's related to the game, even better. Okay, compiled, so let me start the editor and we will do the other compilation, but now that function should be visible. Unless I messed up and I called it receive effect message, I don't know. I don't think that there is any function in Unreal that is. Hello Sand, how are you? I watched some of your videos, the fact that you were working with animations of mounts, like horses. I've seen a bit of that. Did you progress on this? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm making progress. We are casting spells, and so the spell casting seems to be working okay, connected to the server side, and what we are trying to do, the mission of today, is to be able to do damage to a monster or to whatever by casting a spell, right? So that's the mission of today. I think we can do it. Obviously we want to reuse the full structure, you know, that we have already in place server side, which is the one of the old game. Okay. I've seen from your stream that it's not very easy, right? It's not something that is easy to do. Mouse interaction, nice. Yeah, we are thinking to have two modes. One which is kind of a UI mode, and another one which is kind of combat, or let's say let's go through the world kind of mode. And so with tab we will switch between the two modes. And so you click on you press tab and you basically see all the UI. Your mouse is not moving your character, but is you can click on the different windows and such. Then you press tab again and the UI stays, but your mouse is affecting how the character moves. Okay, receive effect message definitely is not here. Why is not here? What did I do wrong? There is something it doesn't like in this declaration. Can you see any error here? U function, implementable event, receive effect message, APS character, actor, F string, effect name. So what is going on? Am I still using any hot reload thing? No. Then it is PS character, yes. So one there is the end. So I think he's doing something weird here. It's like if he has the old version of it. It's like if he has the old version of it for some reason. Yeah, I played Planescape Torment for sure. I played it. It was a very nice game. By the way, they made a new version. They made a new chapter of that, which I wanted to play, but they made a, what is the name? They made a new Planescape. They made a new Planescape, which is called Unraveled. I think it's Unraveled. I think. So it's in Italian. Yeah, but there's another. I've seen there is another one that they did. But yes, Planescape Torment was very nice. I played Planescape the tabletop for quite some time. I've been a GM on it and I've been a player on it. So okay, succeeded by the way. So now that they realized that we did the change, we finally succeeded. I don't know. This compiler is a bit annoying today. It's making things a bit annoying. Let's see. Okay, let's start the editor and see if finally we can have our you know, we can have our method, because otherwise we cannot go forward. And now we have to compile the DLL here, but it will not take too much. This one is pretty short. So how much time it took? It took like 20 minutes at least to compile everything. I think it's 20 minutes. And PlaneShift is kind of inspired to Planescape Torment. I mean, not a lot, but there are some elements. You will find some elements. Like if you look at the main temple and the, let's say, the way it is designed is somehow reminding of that. Also the fact that we have people coming from different planes of existence is connected to that. So yeah, there are some. There is some ideas behind that are obviously influenced by Planescape Torment. I mean, that game influenced me a lot, but even if it was one of the games that I played in the last part of my gaming sessions, because I started with D&D, let's say basic, mainly Dragonlance, the majority of the time. No, it's not online anywhere. No, it's not online. The client I still have, and the server I still have, but is offline since very long time. The 3D version is online if you want to play the 3D version. The Kender Tasselhoff. Tasselhoff Burfoot. Tasselhoff is a very nice character. Actually, we have people playing Kender only for him in our group. Usually when we make a new group, there is at least one Kender, you know. Just because it's so fun to play. And Ricelin, yes, Ricelin the wizard. Or, if you can say, Ricelin the god. No spoilers. Okay. So let me see if finally I can see the thingy, okay? Receive effect message. Oh, thanks God. I mean, I didn't change anything in the code, but now it's showing up. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, finally we have this thing they wanted to put in. Maybe I will cut the video off, and I will, yeah, I will probably cut the video. People will say, why is 1 hour missing from the video? But I think it makes no sense to have the people wait if they watch again. So, finally we have this. And so what we want to do, we want to start casting when this happens, and we have our casting character and our target. Why the casting character doesn't work? PS character object reference, PS character blueprint object reference. Dun, 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 dun. Can I cast this to? I think I can. I think I can. Is it a blueprint? I mean, it can be cast to a blue. I don't know why I have a blueprint here, but it's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. The spell name now. The spell name. That's a very good question. For now, let's just hardcode energy arrow because it's the only one that we have. So, but we will change it later on. Okay. So let's try to test this thing. We want to see if this animation is working. This animation is working. And if this is working as well. Okay, so we want to launch. So let's put some printouts though, because I think that we will need it. We will absolutely need it. So receive effect message. Oh, by the way, there is server side. It is server side, boys. We need to do the usual trick. So we need to send we need to do exactly what we do here. So get the controller, from the controller call this. No, we don't need that. No, we don't need that. Let's just create a new event. Boom, boom. This event will be called receive effect. Oops. Message on client. Okay, the usual stuff that we do all the time when we have to move between client and server. We need as an input the same parameters that we have here. So we need a sharpon, which is actually a PS character. Then we need another one, which is target pawn, which is an actor. The reason is an actor is because a spell could also target an object on the ground, you know, and not. And the other one is effect name, which is a string. Okay. Now this thing we need to call from here, and so we need to call receive effect message on client. We pass in the same parameters. This, and this. Now this one should be replicated to owning client and reliable, and this one just call this. Okay, and this one doesn't call anything. So here we do the casting, and the casting is because I placed PS character, so we have the same problem. PS character object. Sorry, I did it stupid way. Okay. This, and this. Okay. Okay, so we have to do it like this. Okay, so we are on the client now, and now we finally call start casting, and start casting should be. Yeah, I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. Okay, let's see what happens, because now we did so many changes that we have to test it, otherwise it's hard for me to understand what is going on. Okay. Raistlin, yes. Raistlin Magere. Magere or Maiere? I don't know how to pronounce it, but probably an English guy will pronounce it Magere. Magere? I don't know. So we launch the server. Do we want to launch the server in the in Visual Studio? Yeah, I think we want to. We want to launch in Visual Studio so we can debug what happens. And then we want to launch one client. Okay. So let's see. As soon as the server is up, let's just wait that the server goes up fully. Okay, it should be up fully now. We log in. For now, we log in with one client only, okay, which is enough. Then we will do the test with 2 clients. But for now, we test 1 client at a time. And by the way, when we solve this, then I think that we are in pretty good shape. Let me just close this window, because I don't know if in the background is still running and is using up, space in memory. Okay, so here we have our client, and no, I need the other guy to cast the spell. Well, I can use the NPC. Yeah, let's use the NPC. So I go here, I click on the NPC, I click on my summon missile, and then I click on cast. Now when I click on cast, a breakpoint will be okay. So we are scheduling. Let me just check the duration, what it is. Duration 4926. Why is 4926? Why the duration is 4926? Casting duration. Where is casting duration coming from, boys? It's calculated? Casting duration. Casting duration. Casting duration is actually executed in the script. Okay, you see, our character is casting though, so up to now is good. You see that he's casting. So we started the server sent him the request to cast a spell, and until the server tells him to stop, he will continue to do this. Now if I try to move, yeah, I can't move, which is a bit weird, but anyway, I should probably not be able to move, but it's fine. So you say it's casting, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. You see. The problem is our casting duration, for some reason, is completely fucked up. It's 4,900 and something, which means hours. Why? Why? So we evaluate the range, we evaluate the casting duration, and so range, evaluate, environment. 1 second, I'm a bit confused. Where is the script? Range. Cast duration. I think we have a small problem. So cast duration is evaluated from the database, I think. Cast duration, okay, is this thing. So it's 5,000 because it's in milliseconds. We have to I think this one was in milliseconds, right? For sure is in milliseconds. So or we change it here or we divide it by 1000. What do we want to do? Divide it by 1000? Let's divide it by 1000 because all our database is working in milliseconds for spells. So should we do it here? Cast duration, matters price. No, we should do it when we do the actual yes, when we do the thingy. So cast duration, cast spell. So this one is a float, and we should do this divided by 1000, and we should say, maybe let's put a comment in EU, the timer are in seconds. In the database, our spells are in milliseconds. So that's why we do this thing. So basically at the moment this guy will never stop casting, or it will take a really long time to stop. So unfortunately we have to recompile, but this recompilation, I tell you, will be quick. Okay, don't worry, it will be quick. Do we have anyone watching from Twitch? Because on Twitch we don't have a lot of people. I don't know if I'm messing up the... Oops. If I'm messing up the tags, or it's just that no one is watching developers on Twitch. We actually have 2 people watching on Twitch. Maybe one is me, I don't know. Hey people on Twitch, say hello. You should say hello. Okay, you don't want to? It's fine. It's fine. We have 1 million windows here, by the way. We should close them all. All these are old windows that are open when we launch the game. Okay, the server is starting, compilation is finished. A Twitch link in the description of YouTube. I don't know if YouTube is very happy about it, so I would not do it. Okay, so let's restart the client and see. Let's restart the client and see. So now the cast duration should be 4 seconds, 4.9 seconds. So by the time, unfortunately with the breakpoint, by the time that we switch to debug mode, so maybe we can remove the breakpoint because we will not be able to see it on the client. If we switch here, I can switch immediately back, but can try to switch immediately back. Okay, selecting the lady, summon missile, cast, and this thing is casting duration 4. Perfect. So this guy is casting. In 5 seconds something should happen. In fact it happened, it triggered. We have the spell effect. I don't know, I will just let it run. Boom, and everything crashed. Okay, fine. Something crashed, but I don't know why. Effect. Okay, he's trying to cast this. He's definitely trying to cast the spell because he's inside spell. He crashed inside spell effect, and there is also a EU log. Let me see if this EU log is getting printed out. We should still be on the server. Set mode spell casting in Planship player controller, very long time. Casting summon missile with a chance of success. There it is. Casting summon missile with a chance of success of 51% and roll 69. Oh fuck, we failed. We failed the spell. I think we failed the spell, so we go, oops, sorry, I punched the microphone. So we go inside this spell casting failed, and we should receive on the client you failed to cast the spell, which I don't know if we received because our client by now is timed out, but probably we did. I guess we did. But then he's crashing on something. Then he's searching. Okay, cache manager progression skipped. Spell fail. There is another script that is getting run when you fail a spell. And he's searching the caster, the K factor, which is 1. The caster is myself, and the power is 1. This conscast is safe as script cannot change the spell via the scripting interface. I don't know. Cache manager spell failure. Let me just check what this spell failure is doing, okay? There's a spell failure. We don't have a spell failure here. Okay. Maybe it's under math scripts. No. Get progression script. Where are the progression scripts? I have no idea. Is under other scripts? Okay. I think it's under other scripts. Under other scripts, we have another script running, which is this one. And this script is trying to do what? It's trying to drain stamina and mana from me. But there is also this FX. I don't know if this is the issue, that is trying to do something visually. Because it's actually evaluating the script, and wow, here we are inside a script parser, so GG in understanding what it's doing. GG in understanding what it's doing. Also because it is compiled, so it's bytecode. It's crashing, so player base, custom compound function, calculate a function on the object, calc function environment, function name, stamina cost. Stamina cost. So I think it's on this line. and he's trying to evaluate spell stamina cost. I don't know if our spell is actually scriptable yet. There is a very special spell, and for this spell failure is a very special case, so I don't know if you want to debug it now, but we are using, you see this syntax? This syntax means that we are going on the spell object and we are evaluating is a stamina cost, so we are launching this function. Now I don't even know if our spell is scriptable. I don't know if I commented it out for simplicity or I left it in. Let me see. Spell. PS spell. It's actually scriptable. Scriptable is scriptable, so we should be able to call that function in theory. In theory, should be able to call that function, which is we said stamina cost. Stamina cost should be in here, but it's not here. Why is not here? Stamina cost, there it is. Stamina cost, get value, function stamina cost, temporary remove, dynamic cast, gem actor, mana cost. Wow. Here we are going a bit deep into the thingy, but I think if I place a breakpoint here, maybe we will realize what is going on. I think what he's trying to do, stamina cost, caster and factor. Yeah, the problem is that here we are still using gem actors, so gem actors definitely is not working here. That is what is failing. This one for sure fails. For sure this one fails, 100%. Because this code has not been converted yet. I can try to convert it, but scriptable object, gem actor. So for us it will be, I mean, obviously he has to be valid. If it's not valid, this thing will crash like a boss. Okay, so let's try to convert it. Okay, so that because this piece of code we never converted. So this becomes an APS character, and we need to take our object, cast it to APS character, and pray. And then we need to get this like caster, and that's it. And this one we can remove. So like this it will work, hopefully. We have to do the same for all these functions, like here, and get character data is not needed anymore. Yeah, but now I understand why it crashed, because it was actually executing something that is not ported yet to the new code. I guess in this file we still have a lot of gem actors. Let me check. Gem actor. No, actually there was the last piece. Okay. Okay, let's try again and see if this doesn't crash. Let's see. We are executing. Let's say some important parts for sure. And this is the first time we execute those scripts, right? And these scripts are pretty evoluted anyway, so we're not executing a very simple script, we're executing a pretty complex script, because this script is going on it wants to remove stamina from the caster, and to calculate the stamina he has to remove, he's calling a function on the spell, which is called stamina cost, giving these two parameters. So it's a lot of redirections, no? You think a link in the description will not be a problem? Okay. I can put it. I can put it for sure. Interesting. He doesn't like our change. It doesn't like our change. Okay. It doesn't like it because actually the scriptable object spell is not an unreal object, so we cannot use this cast. Crap. Okay. We use the other cast and hope for the best. You know, I think. Now, if that's null, I think we should return. What do we return if that's null? I mean, it should not be null because the caster of the spell should always be valid. And in fact, also the old code was starting from the assumption that that variable would never be null, because it was doing the cast and then just the next line it was calling a function on it. So I want to do damage to a monster right now. I want to start to get my experience, you know, and rank up. I want to start to get experience. Yeah, bunch of yellow thingies. We will solve those sooner or later. Sooner or later we will solve the yellow errors, don't worry. It's just that I cannot do everything at the same time, but there are a few pieces that are still to be fixed. Okay, so what we want now is well, maybe this time we will not fail the spell. It's 60%, you know. It's 60%. So we failed the spell, and he went into spell failure. Maybe this time we will do it. So let it go. 4 seconds. Casting. Boom. It stopped again. Let's just do an F5 and why is going twice through that? Okay, it's something else. My client, I think, is GG, but handle perception attack. Okay, so here what is happening is that my NPC is trying to react to the attack, and for some reason we managed to crash on a printout, which is pretty fun, but we managed to crash. Attacker is valid, PID is valid. Why it crashed? I don't understand why it crashed. NPC brain, NPC actor was null pointer. NPC brain, NPC actor. NPC brain, NPC debug. Because NPC debug is trying to do what? And if NPC is debugging, NPC printf. Well, my NPC brain is valid. My brain as well. The brain is there. So what he doesn't like? Attack perception. Yeah, because the NPC will get the perception that is getting attacked, which is not what we want to debug now, but unfortunately we are hitting this, you know. We are hitting this. Or we skip it, but if we, I mean, our client is dead anyway, so. NPC brain. NPC is debug. So I don't understand what is this thing. So it's expanded to NPC. So he's saying that NPC is null. NPC is debugging. Is debugging is doing get actor, get PID, unbox. So I think it's get actor, which is null. I think it's get actor. Get actor on the NPC brain. It should not be null though, because the NPC brain. Why is null, boys? Oh yes, it's null. NPC actor. There it is. It's totally null. There is another problem. For some reason, when we are associating the brain to the lady, we are not setting the variable back. So we are not set. Let me just check if this brain is the right brain, by the way. Ah, crap, I'm trying to debug myself. No, there is a problem here. It's the opposite way. I mean, here for some reason we are trying to debug. You see the brain, he has a player controller. NPC brain is a planeship player controller, so it cannot be. Is me is the player, but so handle perception attack. Handle perception attack. This will switch the parameters or what? So handle NPC manager handle perception attack. I have the caster and the attackee, which is whatever, the guy that gets attacked, right? Which is the target. So inside of this, I take the target. The target is the caster. This function has been no, this function has been ported wrong, boys. We switched target and caster. That is what we did for some reason. We switched. Let me search again. Handle perception attack. All open documents. Yeah, I think I did a mistake there. The problem is that if I did it there, I did it everywhere. No? Because these functions are all the same. Yes, these functions are all identical, so... Come on, handle perception attack exists, I tell you. Or not? Did I create it myself? I can search, let's search this. Let's search good attack. Wait. Let's search this in all open documents. You should find it in theory. I think there is something messed up in that part of the code. Okay. NPC manager. When you search something and it doesn't find it, you have to go manually. It's so funny. Okay, we go manually. NPC manager, okay. So it should be here in theory. No. Then is in network manager, because we had few places. Come on. Find this thing. I copied from the old project, so it must be somewhere. Please. Find it out. Yes! He got it! Okay. I think here we did some freaking switch. So perception attack. Perception attack. Okay. Here we are inside network manager. So we try to find the NPC. The NPC is the target ID, and the attacker is the attacker entity, and then we debug the NPC, right? Alright, but I think in my case I switched it. So the target and the attacker. Wait a second. The target and the attacker, I think is switched, you know. I think I switched these two parameters. Right? Yes, I think it is switched. But I'm a bit surprised though that those two parameters have been switched. It's possible, but that was very weird. Spell effect target caster in target NPC. Caster and target NPC. Q attack perception. Then this Q attack perception, caster and target. Okay, so they are in the logical sequence. Caster and target. Now this Q attack perception, because we skipped one step, okay, for simplification in the new code, and caster and attacker. Okay. Caster and target. Caster and target. So caster and target. But then what do we do? This one out message. NPC command message. Anyway, I think it's switched. You know, I can look at it for 1 hour, but it's is switched. The two parameters are the opposite order for some reason. Anyway, are the opposite order, right? Now, why are the opposite order? No idea. Do we want to change it in the attack perception, or do we want to change it in the thingy? Let me see how we did the perceptions. Did we do all the same? NPC spoken to. NPC target physical. I don't know. Who cares? The important point is that I can even leave it like this, but I need to ensure that my perception attack, I have to ensure that my perception attack is taking caster and target. Why I switch those two? I don't understand. I don't understand why I switched those two. It's so weird. So strange, boys. Why did this happen? Why? Anyway, mistakes were made, but fixes were made as well. So NPC manager. Probably, yeah, the point is that on thousands of lines, you know, I messed up one. No, I messed up more than one for sure. But so caster and target. right? Caster and target. So we call it like this, caster and target. So now we take the target, yes, we get the NPC brain, and we do all of this. So this should not fail. The reason it was failing because it was trying to use my character as an NPC, and it was trying to trigger the perception in the player, but players don't have perceptions scripted. They have it in their real brains. So that's why boys. That's why. We are closer, eh? We are definitely closer. What's going on? Caster and target. Yes. Let's say caster. Attacker. I don't know. We call it caster, but actually it's not. It's not a cast. It's a. It's fine. The name is not too much of a problem. Sometimes will be a caster, sometimes will be an attacker. Important is that is the right sequence. An NPC brain is taking the target. Okay, I think it may work now because we were pretty deep in the process, huh? We were pretty deep, so the whole sequence kind of, well, not the wall, but like 70% of the sequence worked. Also, we got the proper trigger, you know, we got the trigger after 4 seconds working properly, and he started to cast the spell, and so yeah, it seems to be working okay. I'm pretty happy about that, but we need to see it, you know, 100%. We need to see it 100%. What time is it? 23:19. Okay. Okay. Server's up. Let's go. Client. 100% we need 100%. We can do it, boys. We can do it. We can do it. Okay, so now the difference is that well, first of all, we need to see if we manage to do the spell or not, because there are two different paths, you know, the one that we fail the spell and the one in which we succeed with the spell. But okay, let's go. F5, 4 seconds. Okay, F5. Why it goes through 2 times? Am I stupid or what? Did I do the same or no? I didn't do it the same. PSAI controller. Okay, now this one is the right one because it's a PSAI controller. So this is actually an NPC. But NPC actor is still invalid. NPC actor is still invalid because we are not associating it properly. Why? Why? Okay, so this may be another error in another place, but when we are loading the NPCs, we are not associating the brain and the NPC. Seems very strange, but let's see. In our NPC brain, we have a function to wait a second, NPC actor. I need my schema because now I'm confused. Where is my schema? Schema. Real engine classes. Open with paint. So PSNPC brain is connected to PSAI controller, which is then connected to the character and then to this one. Yes, but okay, so our PSNPC brain, I'm just confused about PSNPC brain if he has, what is the constructor of this? Because I remember when we were setting the brain, we were also doing the opposite. Brain and new NPC type. But the idea was not to go through I'm a bit confused by why he's trying to get the actor that way, because he should not. He should not. In this NPC debug, you know, he's trying to get NPC. This is debugging, right? Is doing get actor, but get actor is returning NPC. I think we are never setting this. Set actor. Are we using set actor anywhere? Okay, apart from here, but set actor. I have the feeling we are never calling this function. Okay. I commented it out. Here we are inside create player, but create player no. I want to find a place where we associate the brain to the I think is here, right? Assign an AI controller to this NPC. Okay. So here we are loading the character. If he's an NPC, he's loading the brain. Okay, it's spawning the full controller, is creating the PSAI controller, and here is doing set brain. So we are creating the link that goes between this and this, right? Between control, so this link, we are creating this link between PSAI controller and my brain, and inside set brain I just set brain to in brain set controller this, brain set controller this, but actually I do brain set actor. Actually I do it here, brain set actor. So set actor is putting in the pawn, is casting into a PS character, but I mean obviously it is. NPC actor equal to actor. I mean, it should work. Why we are not calling this function, or there is any problem with this function? I don't know. I think we should stop the server, launch it again, and see, because there is something fishy going on. I mean, we are setting the brain and we are setting the actor, but now when we are in debug mode, we are trying to check on the lady. The lady seems to have no brain. Why we have ladies with no brains? Tell me. Why? We have only one lady in the game and is without brain. Why? Why? Tell me why. Yeah, there is something messed up between. Okay, so now we will hit this breakpoint. As soon as is loading the NPCs, we will hit that. Okay. And here we are in set brain. Let me check if everything is working okay. So the brain is valid. Yes. And here we are inside the PSAI controller. The brain is an NPC brain. Yes. And we are setting the actor. Let me just do this set actor and see what happens. Please exit from this. So brain, NPC actor. No, it's null. It's null. It's true. It's actually null. So it's not setting it. It's not working. This thing is not working. Because get pawn is not working. Maybe we don't have a pawn yet when we are creating that. We should. Let me see. So here we are creating the character, right? And we are loading. It seems that the get pawn at this level is not existing. Yeah, this function is quite something. Load. I don't know if maybe we are spawning it after. Because here this load is coming from load all NPCs. No, actually we spawned already the actor. We spawned it already. So why? So here we are inside PS character, right? So if I do a watch on this exactly, and I go on, so this is an APS character. And the pawn is valid. Yeah, the pawn is valid. It's an actor. I don't understand, boys. I don't understand why this function, why this get pawn is not working. Okay, let's do this. So the get pawn should be. Get pawn is returning what? Is it returning an a actor? I don't know why it is not working. No, pawn is returning. Wait a second. Pawn is returning. It's me getting confused, or the pawn is the player, right? I mean the pawn is the actor, right? So pawn is actually derived from a pawn. A pawn is deriving from actor, right? So yeah, a pawn is derived from a actor. So what is the problem? Why this thing is null? Why if I do get pawn here, this thing is null? I don't understand. Or why I cannot cast it to APS character? Why? Very, very strange. I don't understand. What, there is a loading problem? I don't know, but you know, we also have another way. If we don't solve it this way, I have another way to do it. And the way to do it will be that instead of storing a variable here inside NPC brain, we just go back to the controller and then we go back to the character, you know, because we can do it. So it's just one call. So, but I think it was handy to set the actor in the brain directly. So I think it was a good idea, but it seems it's not. It seems to be a good idea, but maybe it's not. Because or is returning null, or the cast is not be able to cast it to an APS character. So or I'm missing something very stupid, or there is a big issue. I don't know. Seems strange, you know. Because pawn is an actor and my APS character is an actor, so I should be able to cast it to APS character. Because I created it this way. So help me, boys. Okay, there is this set brain, right? This set brain. Set brain. So let me see the pawn. The pawn is valid. The pawn is valid. Is they're more than F character. Man, it's 100% valid. Is the cast passed to a function that it doesn't like? Get character? Because when I enter here, apart from this thing, when I enter here, in my set actor was null, right? No, actor is good now. I don't know. Actor is good now. Why is good? Now it's good. Why is good now? Why actor is good now? Tell me. Now is good. NPC actor, look at this. NPC actor now is good. Now is valid. What I did, I just split this line into two lines. That's the only thing that I did. I didn't do the cast and the get at the same time. I assigned it to an A actor, and then I did the cast. Isn't this crazy? I don't know, but it seems to be working okay now. Okay. I mean, let it go. Let it go. I mean, I maybe a cast with a call into it is not a good idea. Could be. Still very weird, but okay. Usually I don't do it. Usually I don't do cast with a call inside, but I mean it should be okay. Should be okay. So now, if the association is right, we should not get the error anymore, and our NPC should get a perception that is getting attacked. Now, I think it will do nothing. I don't think it will fight back, but I don't think so, because the code for that doesn't exist yet. But I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so cast. We do this. We schedule the thingy. 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Caster is alive. I don't know why I'm executing it twice. We go inside this calculate function. I don't care. Let's go. At least we didn't crash. Okay, it said you failed to cast the spell. Okay, we are in the 60%, you know. So let's do it again. Boom. 4 seconds. Boom. Boom. Did we crash? You failed to cast the spell. Come on, it's 60%. I wanted to cast it. I'm so bad at casting spells. I'm so bad at casting spells. NPC brain, NPC actor was null. Fuck you. It was not null before. Why is null now? NPC actor is null. Okay. I don't want to spend time on this, so we'll change this function. I don't care. We will change how this function works. Fuck set actor. We will just do get controller, get. So we will not use that. We will do, instead of doing get actor, we will do, here we are inside the NPC brain. So we do, what we called it? We called it get controller. I don't remember how we called it. Or we can just temporarily maybe just get controller. Get controller, get phone. Okay, we do this. We go the other way because this way I don't know why it doesn't work. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea why he's complaining about that, because it's not set. And anyway, maybe it's not a good idea to do it that way. We can just I mean, it's 2 lines instead of 1, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Which, by the way, was only the debug, so we don't really need the debug now. We need to see if we can cast this freaking spell. We don't need the debug. Who cares about the debug now? We want to see the spell. This is what we want to see. No, but it's good because meanwhile we are fixing some, you know, some part of the code. But that get actor is not working for some reason. For some reason it seems to be okay when the character is loaded, but then when the character is in the game, seems that that variable is not valid anymore. I don't know why. I have no idea. I have no idea. What? Undefined type PS controller. Okay. APSI controller is where? Is inside somewhere, huh? Should be able to see it. Okay. APSI controller, where is it? It's under bulk objects. Where is it, boys? Okay. Where is it? It's called first of all it's called PSI controller, and then it's under NPC client. PC client. Okay. What do you mean? Thought you said you take it easy. What do you mean? Okay. Use of undefined type. What the hell? What the hell? Okay. This guy wants to... But why was not giving this error before? Suspicious about something. I'm a bit suspicious about something now. Wait a second. Why? Did we recompile clean when we did the change? Because now it's giving an error here, like it's not liking, you know, PS and PC brain, which is a bit suspicious. Which is very suspicious, because in theory this thing should maybe we launched it in debug mode, he executed it properly, but then I don't know, I'm confused about why it's giving now this error here if we already launched it once with that change. What do you think, boys? Okay. What is going on? Why now is complaining about PS and PC brain not being present anywhere in our code? What is going on? Because I removed it from PSI control. Okay. Because this was including this, which was including the other guy, and now I removed it and is complaining. Okay, I understand. Okay, I understand. So I cannot do this change here. I have to keep it here, otherwise 1 million other files will complain about it. Okay, fine. He's very right. Twitch.planshift, yes, twitch.tv/planshift. So the link is actually, if you want the real link, is this one. Use of undefined type, PSI controller. some reason he wants to make things hard while they are very simple. I'm very tempted to remove the debugging line, but I will try one more, okay? And then I will just remove this debugging forever. Which, by the way, I'm not even sure if we are still using somehow, but okay. But okay. For now, can I do an inline? Because this was inline. Can I do an inline? Why we have an inline anyway of this one? Because we are executing it a lot. Huh? Maybe there was the issue. There was an inline, and so it was optimizing it. And being optimized, that cast doesn't work as expected. Could be. I don't know. There's something weird going on with this function. But now it should be okay, and if that is null, we return 0. Okay, so if I added this piece by purpose, so that circular dependency found. Circular dependency is because NPC brain is including PSAI, and PSAI is including NPC brain. So we should do a forward declaration. We should do a forward declaration. So let's do the forward declaration here and see if he likes it more. My microphone volume is low. Depends if I'm looking at the microphone or if I'm looking at the other window. The other monitor, I mean, but I already bumped it up. NPC operations now is complaining. Okay. There are a few functions few classes where we were using NPC brain, and now that I changed the sequence of includes, everything seems to be going crazy. Okay, it compiled. Thank you. Okay, now let's launch the server again. So my voice is a bit low. Well, in the previous video I was using a headset, and the headset probably has a better microphone. Now at the moment I'm not using a headset, so that's probably why. The volume, I don't know. At the moment it's already boosted. I mean, if turning up the volume you can hear me, I think it's fine. Okay, so this thing is now started. I hope it doesn't give us the error on the debug part, because it's very annoying. We are trying to test something else. We don't care about the debug, we just want our spell to be casted. To be cast? To be cast. Okay. Okay, so we target and we go. We have our 4 seconds. We execute this, I don't know why, twice. Oh my God. Okay, I'm commenting out this line. Okay. NPC brain controller was null. What the hell? What do you mean? What do you mean? This NPC brain get controller now is null? Why? Get controller is null. Get controller is null. Why get controller is null, boys? Why? What the hell? What the hell? So there is my NPC brain, and you know, my NPC brain is here. Okay, our NPC actor is freaking null. But why also our controller is null? Why everything is null on this freaking thing? Yeah, also controller is null. Also world is null. Also tick is null. Everything is null. But the brain is okay. Yeah, it's a bit weird though. The fact that the world is null is strange. Huh? The owner is null as well. The owner is null. The region is null. The world is null. The control is null. The tick is null. The everything is null. Why? Seems that it seems there is something happening, you know, when we are calling this function spell affect target, caster, original target, target power. I mean, one of these things is completely GG. Caster, target. Target is Dermorian F. Yes, Dermorian F should have. So I take this target, right? I take this target, which is an actor, and I cast it to an APS character. Now, for some reason, this thing becomes impossible. Why everything is null on that thing? NPC dialogue is valid, merchant is valid, target object is not, okay, who cares? There is something that is not working properly. When I enter in this function, handle perception attack, this target, it doesn't like it anymore. Get controller, PS and PC brain. Wait a second. PS and PC brain get controller. No. Or yes. So, sorry, PS and PC brain, is it derived from... no, it's not derived from... How can I cast it to a PS and PC brain? It will never work. Fuck it. No, 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 no. That's the problem. This is this is where everything fucks up. In this cast. In this cast. This cast is completely wrong, boys. It's completely wrong. It's not an APC brain. It's a APSAI controller, which then, as an NPC brain, but as a result, that is also why the debugging is all fucked up. I think that's why everything is bad. Okay. Wait a second. So this thing, we have a get brain, exactly. We have a get brain to do this. So this is not correct. This should be get controller, get brain. No. It's different. Should be, first of all, get controller returns a PSAI controller, right? And we have to cast it to PSAI controller, first of all. So this thing should be a cast of this, right? Sorry, cast of PSAI controller of this. Now this will work, and this is not my NPC brain. That is my whatever is my PSAI controller, right? Then from the PSAI controller, this is why the memory was completely fucked up. Now from this one, I get my NPC brain, which is okay of type PS NPC brain. Okay, and this one we get as PSI controller get brain. Okay, and then from here down, why doesn't like it? Sorry, what it doesn't like? Okay, so missing the pointer. Missing the pointer. Okay. So the problem is that it is everywhere, because we did this mistake everywhere, you know? And it's pretty bad. So these two lines, so that's why I was complaining. So probably then everything is okay in that piece of code. It's just we were passing in an empty thing. The problem is that now how do I do it? Because I have to do it in 1 million places. It's basically everywhere. So whenever I have this, I should substitute it with these two lines. Can you substitute one line with two lines? With a difference that is NPC. Can we do a substitute one line with two lines? Let's see. Seems so. Is it doing it or not? No, fuck, it's getting only the second line. It's getting only the second line, not the first line. Okay. I think we need to do it manually somehow. We need to do it manually. It's everywhere in this file. Every single function is converted bad, unfortunately. Every single function. I think we should do it now because we will forget very soon. If I don't do it now and I just do it, well, not every single function, but let's say the majority, so many of those. It's just adding one line, it's not a big thing, but let me see if I search for the error was the cast, so the error was this thing. So if I search any cast to, no, if I search get controller, I think if I search get controller, I found them all. Yeah, also this one is fucked up. This one is fucked up even more because yeah, this will never work. This will never ever work. There is the same but with target instead of NPC, but it's the same problem. Yes, and there is the same with target as well. Okay, we found a good bug anyway, so this bug was pretty pervasive everywhere, so I think it's good we found it. It is the same but with who. It is only for this freaking debug thing, by the way. It's only for that. I mean, it's maybe I will remove it in the future, but it was only for that. It is with pet. Luckily, they are all the same, so they look pretty much identical. So changing them is very, very quick. Because all these functions are all perceptions that we send to our NPC. I think we are nearly done, I think. It's the same as with entity. Well, there are quite a number. Spawner. There's another here. There are quite a number, boys. Yeah, icon controller. Why was that? No, wait, this one was already correct. This one was already correct. That one was the only one correct, by the way. Okay, I think we catch them all. Yeah, we catch them all. Now, what is this error? There is one error here, which is spawn brain. Okay, I think we should be fine. I think we should be fine. Let's see. Okay, compiled. Now, the fact it compiled doesn't mean that it works, but I'm more hopeful now that... So, in theory, we could also put back, you know, the code as it was before, but I don't want to. I just want to go to my casting of the spell. I mean, but it was a good catch. It was a good catch. Yeah, I have to change this graph because this graph is a bit misleading. In the sense that these arrows are actually inheritance, but these ones are only links. Let's say, yeah. So member functions that you can call to get that object. So maybe it should be dotted line. I don't know, but it's not that these objects are connected. Right? So NPC brain is not a subclass of PSAI controller. That's the point. So that's what confused me. Because in the code it was converted wrong. I think now at least we have the cast the proper way. So we were doing it right here. It's just that we were then I should remove this one, or it's running it a million times. Okay. We have a chance now. We have another window of opportunity to see things working. You believe? You should believe. We have another window of opportunity, boys. Okay. Summon missile. Cast. So let's go. 4 seconds. Trigger the spell. Ah! Okay, didn't crash. It didn't crash. Okay. It didn't crash, which is very good. He actually set the mode to spell casting, and then after 4 seconds he set the mode to peace. And then actually he also added 5 points of skill to Crystal Wave because we casted a spell. He also gave us some skill points. So it seems that it worked. The only problem is that now I can remove the breakpoint. I didn't see the spell going off, but I don't think it did. I don't think he casted the spell actually. Let me remove the breakpoints and do it again. There is still a breakpoint. You see, it's casting. Fuck, there is another breakpoint. I don't want these breakpoints. But the spell didn't go off. So the first part of the sequence is correct. So we cast, we stop casting. It's just that the spell doesn't go off. I don't know why. You failed to cast the spell. Wait, we failed. Cast again. What happened? It says you started casting the spell, but I didn't see then any new message. He added skill points. He actually added skill points. So it's like if he's casting it, but for some reason. Okay, so this piece works. Now we have to understand why we are sending the message of the spell. So where is the point where we send the message of the spell? So the message is broadcast effect message, which is the one that we created, right, by purpose to do this. Now, did we call it? Because maybe we didn't, you know. We did 1 million things, and maybe we didn't call this guy. I think we didn't. Yeah, we gained skill in Crystal Way, but the effect didn't show. But I think it's because we didn't call this function. This function has to be called in PS spell when we are actually casting the spell, I think, right? Where there was the... I've seen it before, right? Here, this one. We didn't substitute it. Now the problem is that no. This is the effect. This is the effect of the casting. When you are casting, there is also an effect. There is an animation and an effect. You know. So we should send the effect, the effect, like casting Crystal Way. There is a specific effect, graphical effect, that happens around you when you are casting, right? But it is not the spell effect. It is the casting effect. And there is also something that we should do. Yes. Okay. So, but it is not what we want to do now. What we want to do now is the actual spell effect. So when is the spell effect sent out to the client? Very good question. I think is actually sent out in the script, believe it or not. I think it's in the script, boys. Holy shit. It's in the script. It's in the script. It's not something I was thinking, but is this thing. Is this thing. interesting. Okay. So we can script also the execution of the effect. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I was not prepared for this, but it's fine. I was not prepared for this, but it's fine. So, I don't think I can do it tonight though, because I have to go. But what we need to do, so the sequence works. So basically, what we have in our plan here, where is our plan? Where was the plan? So the player clicks on cast. The validation is okay. Starting the scale. This animation is fine. So this animation is fine. In addition, we also have another step, believe it or not, which is the play of the casting the play of casting. Ask to play casting effect, right? There is also this one, and this one is actually triggering the play, play or launch GFX effect of casting. And this one was based on the way, because every way has a different casting effect. So this one we don't have, and this one we don't trigger. So at the moment, this one is KO. I mean, it's to do. This one we don't have. Now, if spell is not interrupted, I think it should work, but we didn't test it. Now, the timer triggers, but it is not correct, because the timer triggers, which is fine, but the execution is okay, but inside the script there is also the launch of the execution. So in the script there is also this piece. So at the moment we execute the script, I think fine. We do this, so we do damage. I think the damage, we didn't check, but the damage should be done at the moment. This one also we do, the mode to piece, and we restore the animation. So what we miss is this part and this part at the top. Now this part at the top, like this, I don't care too much at the moment. I care more about this one. This one is the one that I would like to have working, right? I would like to have working properly, but let me save this. We save this as Unreal Cast Spell Mission. Do we call them mission something, or we called it we called them mission before? Okay, so it should be mission cast spell. Okay, so yeah, we missed this one. I cannot do it now, unfortunately, because I have to wake up very early tomorrow morning, but this one means that we will have to go inside our scripter, and there should be an FX. There should be an FX node that is getting loaded somewhere. Actually, here, FX operation. And this FX operation which is inside our script. Should launch the actual casting, the actual effect. Actually, this effects is valid for every effect, so it's similar to what we did now in the blueprint. So we need one function which is triggering this effect. Come on, IntelliSense, please. Find this function, please. Okay, so it's here, you say. So it's loading the XML node. All this is fine. What we need is the run. Okay? Is the run. Yes, and you see that it passes in already the active spell. So all this code is good. The difference is, there it is, here. Here we need to pass, here we need to call our function. I don't know what his thing is doing. I'm not 100% sure of what this thing is doing. It's doing we can do one last test, but unfortunately I really have to go. Scripting, let me check. Scripting, FX operation. FX operation. I think we are executing this at the moment. I think we are. You know what I can do just as a quick hack? Just as a quick, because I think that this is run when, so let me try to put here in the run, okay, to put here in the run the call to our broadcast message. The call to our broadcast message, so which means that I need to take my and the problem is that here I only have the target, which I don't know if is enough, but let's assume is enough. So I do target get controller. Wait a second, I think if I copy paste it, it takes less. I don't have it here. Okay. Okay, anyway. Plane shift, player, controller base, yes. So we do target, get controller, and we cast it to this, and then we call our broadcast effect message, yes. And what does this thing need though? This thing needs few parameters. It needs the pawn, the target, and the effect name. The problem is that here we only have the target. Is it possible that we only have the target? We only have the target here. We only have the target. Why we only have the target? Effects have both a source, the caster, and a target. Yes, exactly. Where is the source? Where is the source? Is inside, maybe is derived here. No. Source is actually an F string, but source is XYZ. Yeah, we have to change this, unfortunately. The generation of the effect is not working. I mean, I have to rework it because it's not. It's strange because here in the script we have the caster and the target, you see. So we have both variable, which is exactly what we need. I'm surprised that inside our scripting then now I missed where we are. In our FX AOP, there is an FX OP and an FX AOP. Wait. No, it's here, boys. It's here. It's not there. You see, here we have the target and the source. Is here. Is in this piece. I don't know what is the difference between FXOP and FXAOP, but this effect is created at the target in front of it. The effect is not attached. Unattached. Someone names some source. So the effect is attached. Someone names a source target. Scale value is optional. So okay, so and the other one, what was it? Applied effects. For applied effect, the target is always the character the active spell applies to. Okay, so it's like if you're casting on yourself something. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, but this means that what I was about to do is not correct. Even if I arrived here on AFX, right? But I think it's this one. So if we put here something like, but I have to redo it because you see this one is not converted yet. It still have gem object. It still has a lot of stuff that, but it is the place where we need to put our effect. Exactly. This is where we have to put our code and it then will run. Okay. You have to go, boys. See you. Have a good time. I try to stream tomorrow evening. I don't know if I can, but I will try. And for now, thanks for watching. And have a good one. And we'll see each other very, very soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow evening.